Welcome back here on the Lane live stream. My name is Levi Berkfield. I am joined by Jacob Salau. We are just seconds away from the start of the second half as the Titans lead the Penguins 50-31. And I think there's only one headline from the first half, Jacob, and that is Will Pluma and his explosive game.
Yeah, 23 points and a half for Will Pluma on 9 for 11 shooting, and he is 5 of 6 from the three-point line. And we mentioned this in the first half, and if you weren't here, Will Pluma on the season shoots about 29% from the three-point line. Apparently, he doesn't care about stats, so he just started shooting, and he's been making it, and that's why the Titans have been in the lead in this one.
He's already doubled up his season average with those 23 points. As both teams take the court, the Lane coaching staff in their suits and sneakers weekend, head coach C.J. Edwards saying he is honoring his grandfather, Kenneth Edwards. It's a cancer initiative with all the coaches in suits and sneakers. And let me say, quite the clean stretch of sneakers we are seeing there. Blackmore, who ended that first half on the bench, will start the game here. Gives to Hinton, back, swung around, ends up with Blackmore, and we're going to get an early offensive foul there. Looks like they're going to call Will Pluma away from the ball on the action, so that will be a foul on Pluma. An early foul here for the Titans, early turnover. The Penguins have the ball down 19.
Yeah, not a good start here for the Titans. You don't want to be giving up these early free throws, even though they or early fouls, excuse me. Even though they have such a big lead, those fouls could lead to one-on-ones later down the line and get the Penguins back into this one.
Penguins have the ball, swung around, ends up back in the hands of Igbanagwam. Swung around, back in the hands of Kaiser, the team's leading scorer and offensive weapon. Drives, kicks it out to the corner. Coleman thought about three, instead drives to the paint, puts up the floater, and that'll go as the first scoring of the second half is underway. Blackmore with the ball. Goes around the Hinton action, gives it up to Pluma, back to Blackmore in the wing. Kicked around for Harbert. He'll take a three-pointer, high arcing shot, won't go, catches rim. Rebound controlled by Coleman. Coleman going quickly here, wanted to go inside. Instead, he'll give it to Kaiser, who thought three. Back to Coleman. He'll take a three-pointer. That won't go. Rebound controlled by the Penguins. Igbanagwam with the ball. Swung around, back in the hands of Kaiser. Peyton Kaiser drives baseline, gives inside. The turnaround jumper, that won't go, but a foul is called as Igbanagwam went up for the basket. Foul will be called. That's back-to-back fouls on Will Pluma.
I didn't quite see where the foul was on that one. I mean, it just looked like he was going up to contest the shot, but they're going to call this one. And I think we saw it in the first half. The refs were really starting to call a lot of things, at least in the beginning, and they kind of loosened up towards the end, but it looks like it's a new half, so they're going to start be calling these fouls a lot more often.
Igbanagwam averaging 10 points and shooting 70% from the free throw line will hit that first one. Looks like there's a wet spot on the court, so the referees are cleaning that up. The lead down to 16, pending one free throw. Referee taking his time in the cleanup process.
See, we saw Will Pluma clean one up earlier in the first half. He got that done efficiently.
Next free throw coming up. Igbanagwam. We'll get that one. Hinton to inbound, gives it to Blackmore. You saw Pluma bringing the ball up the court at the back end of the first half. Looks like they reverted back to their normal with Blackmore doing that ball handling. It swung around, ends up back in the hands of Blackmore, who fires a pass in the direction of Hinton. A little outside of his outstretched arms, another turnover, and Hinton will turn to Blackmore and give him the calm down motion as that pass was fired. And Blackmore will head to the bench as Leggy and Foreman will check in. Harbert, the other member of the Titans, going to the bench. Inbounds, goes to Byer. Guarded by Pluma. The ball will be lost and collected by the Titans. Now they have a fast break opportunity. This is Sandramano who goes up, puts up a wild shot, a lot of contact. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Leggy, kicks it out to Hinton. Ends up back in the hands of Pluma, 16 on the shot clock. Pluma will take a step back, deep two-point jumper. That's good. His hot start from the beginning of the game continues into the second half as he drains his first shot. And Will Pluma jumps on the ground. Arms outstretched for the ball, deflects it to his teammate. Now he has the ball, and they're going to call a carry on Will Pluma. The finish after the whistle was pretty sweet. Does not count.
Wow, what an up and under layup right there. I mean, dang, such a great job on the defensive side to get the ball for his
Diving
team.
attempt.
Yeah, and then to try to come out on the other side, just unlucky right there with the carry.
Kaiser has the ball, hold drive, kick it out, swung around. They thought about a three-pointer. Instead, this is Coleman who took a awkward shot. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Foreman. Foreman pushing the pace here, finds Hinton. Hinton near the basket, jump shot. Shot through contact. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Foreman, and he'll kick it out for Will Pluma. Top of the three-point line. He'll slow down the offense.
Smart job right here from Pluma. I mean, they've had multiple fast breaks so far in this half, but haven't really been able to convert off of them. So slowing down the offense, getting better looks is probably the smarter play here.
Hinton will go basket. He'll be fouled in the process. Sandramano, a rare post-up opportunity for him as he drove all the way to the basket, couldn't get the shot to go, but Hinton was able to collect it and was fouled on the shot attempt. So we'll see 2 free throws here for Devin Hinton, who shoots 45% from the line, but he's had a nice night from the free throw line as he is 3 for 3 on the night. Two free throws incoming as the Titans lead by 17 with 17 minutes left in the game. The first one goes. This is a Titans squad that only averages 79 points on the game. They're already at 53, so on pace to break their game scoring average. But the real story has been Clark only putting up 35 points. That second free throw rolls around, won't go. This is a Clark squad that averages 76 points a game, so they are below their pace for average. This is Ohame. Ohame will drive through the paint. That won't go. Rebound controlled by who else but Devin Hinton. Always active on the glass and gives it to Will Pluma. Pluma will drive, kick to the corner for Leggy. 3. That one finds the bottom of the net. Junior Leggy drains that one.
Nice shot right there from Leggy. It's his first 3 taken of the game, and he makes it count.
This is Kaiser, an athletic shot off the rim, off the glass. Excuse me, that'll go. He thought he was getting fouled. He was not. But a nice play there from the star sophomore. Peyton Kaiser gets that one to go. This is Foreman who'll take a quick 3 on that possession. Rebound controlled by the Penguins. They're going the other way. Coleman gives it the quarter to Kaiser. Kaiser leaves that one short. Rebound controlled by Hinton. Hinton finds Pluma with Blackmore on the bench. Looks like Pluma back in the ball handling duties of taking the ball up the court. Swung around, ends up in the hands of Foreman. Foreman gives it to Hinton, tops the three-point line. To find to Sandramano. Sandramano thought about it and said he'll kick it out. Pluma thought 3, takes a step inside the arc for a deep 2-pointer. That's good. Will Pluma, from any distance, he'll get it done.
Yeah, right there, he fakes the 3-pointer because he knows that the defender was a step too late. He's going to have to jump to contest. Fakes it, defender flies past him, takes a step up. Nice jumper.
Junior Leggy thought he had a fast break developing, but instead he'll get called for the foul. Looks like he got Brendan Byer there as they collided. Will Pluma will check out, replaced by Blackmore. 15:30 left to go in the game. The Titans lead 58-37. Kaiser has the ball. Hasn't done too much primary ball handling, but here he has it. Takes a quick double team and stripped away. Sandramano has the ball. It's a 3-on-1 fast break. Sandramano to the glass. Gets the roll to go. Defense turns into offense for the Titans.
Yeah, and the Titans doing a great job building on their offense. They're really capitalizing on the momentum they had coming into the second half, and here they are continuing to build on their lead.
The lead has swollen to 23. This is Agbanagwam with the ball. A little Euro step, kicks it out. That 3-pointer up and good. Ohame gets it to fall. Blackmore has the ball, drives inside, shot it away. What a block, but a foul is called. Ohame gets that one to go swat the other direction, but he will be called for a foul. What an athletic play there. Referees disagree on the context of it. A foul will be called there, and Blackmore still on the ground. There is a lot of contact on that play.
Yeah, and that block was absolutely vicious, but you got to hope that Blackmore's all right. I mean, and he jumps right back up.
A little shaken up, slow to get up, but once he is up, we'll step to the free throw line.
That scared me right there. I mean, he was face down on the ground, wasn't really like rolling around or anything. That could have been really bad, but jumps up, probably just taking a moment to collect himself.
Now I understand that foul was called, but Ohame swatted that one to the shadow realm. I mean, that was out of this dimension. It's a nice play there, but foul will be called. So with a 20-point lead, referees are conferring. Still waiting for the final call, looks like. Referees are talking to both coaches.
And, you know, we saw this earlier where we thought Pluma was going to take a free throw, and then they were going to go to the line to inbound it, and they were like, no, Pluma's going to do it, and he was starting to warm up, and then they were like, no, we're just going to inbound it anyway, so see what they decide here.
C.J. Edwards looks approximately as confused as we are as we wait for the call. So it looks like a free throw will happen, but because there was an injury, Blackmore will be able to go to the bench. I believe that was the discussion. So instead, Will Pluma will step to the line, despite the fact that Javon Blackmore was the player who was fouled. So it appears that that is the point of contention over who is shooting the free throws. As Will Pluma is warming up now, Hinton will step to the line. It's a game of musical chairs over who will take a free throw. Do you want to do it? No?
Oh, yeah.
Someone else? Anyone else? Take a guy from the
send me down there. I can do it. And it looks
and
like
a timeout will be called. The final decision, a timeout will be called, so we'll take a break here on the court. But this is, I mean, this Lane squad, you're always worried about a team coming back here, but they've really taken control of this game early in the half. They have the 20-point lead. Still led in scoring by Will Pluma. Hinton, the only other player in the game with double-digit scores. He's got 12 points in addition to his 9 rebounds. What I think is interesting is they've given Pluma the hot hand of the ball more often. Usually Blackmore or Burdett have ball handling duties. They're the ones who take it up the court after an inbounds pass or after a rebound. At the end of the first half, Pluma was the primary ball handler. Then they gave it back to Blackmore in a couple of possessions that maybe didn't go the way they wanted to. So now Pluma's back in charge of handling the ball. It's interesting how the coaching staff is letting Pluma, who's really feeling it tonight, be able to get the ball in his hands more often.
I mean, if it's working, why change it? I mean, if Pluma's so consistently scoring, I mean, he is 11 for 13 on the night. You're telling me this guy has missed 2 shots in an entire night so far with 27 points, along with putting up the 4 rebounds and 3 assists? I mean, why not continue feeding the hot hand? Because he is doing everything for this team right now. And like we've been saying all game long, he is the reason they are in such a big lead.
And after all is said and done, it'll be Devin Hinton who will step to the line for those 2 free throws. He's 4 for 5 from the charity stripe tonight. The first one will go. Blackmore is on the bench, but looks like he's doing better. After being shaken up in the most recent play, Hinton won't get that one to go. Rebound controlled by the Penguins. This is Byer with the ball. The give to Coleman. Coleman swings it around, ends up in the hands of Kaiser. Penguin player will drive basket. That won't go. Able to collect his own rebound is Igbanagwam. Guarded by Pluma, gives it to Kaiser. Kaiser, the most potent offensive weapon, who's had a relatively quiet night tonight. Give to the corner. Looks like an offensive foul will be called. Never mind, no foul, just his heel was on the line, so out of bounds on the play was the shooter, so Titans control.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't quite looking at where his feet was, but he was pretty close to the three-point line, so I'm a little surprised that he would have stepped out of bounds. So, you know, like I said earlier, it looks like that the refs are calling pretty much everything in this one.
Pluma had action, drove inside. The three-pointer up, won't go, and instead Hinton with the ball. He'll go up for it. Looks like he was fouled in the process. Hinton, such a potent weapon within a few feet of the basket. He'll step to the line again. Big man has secured a double-double for the night with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Looking to add on to that point total with the free throws. Gets the first to go. And drains both. The lead up to 20, back up to 23, I should say. Kaiser with the ball, guarded full court by Leggy, who forces the ball out of his hands. Great action in the backcourt there to get the ball out of Kaiser's hands. Ends up in the hands of Bayer. Guarded by Pluma, looks for Ohame. Ohame will drive, step back, spins inside. Up, off glass, won't go. Rebound controlled by Foreman. 13:40 left to go in this game, and the Titans have the ball.
Yeah, and you can see the offense starting to slow down a little bit. We used to see that once they got the offensive or the defensive rebound, they push it fast up the court, slowing it down here now towards the end of the second half.
Kaiser jumps the passing lane and tips that one out of bounds. The reason we keep saying Kaiser's name is he averages 18 points a game, leads the team in points and assists, but the Titans have done a great job defending him. He's only 3 for 8 from the field with 9 points and 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Inbounds ends up in the hands of Hinton. Guarded by the Penguins. A lot of contact and a foul will be called. It's 3 possessions so far that ended up with fouls on Hinton. As Blodgett, Burdett, Blackmore, and Harbert will all check into this game.
Yeah, complete shift swap here. So it'll be interesting to see how this offense is going to stack up, especially after Will Pluma, who's been so hot, is going to take a seat.
Looks like they ended up calling that one as an offensive foul, so Hinton a little too aggressive inside. Sandramano, the only player to stay on the court for the Titans. Substitutions for Clark as well. This is Adama with the ball. First receipt of him in the second half. Guarded by Blackmore. Gives it to Kaiser. Takes the screen and swings it around. The lob inside, little off target. Ends up back in the hands of Kaiser, who fakes the 3. Will send jump pass inside to Ohame. Ohame off glass. That won't go. Rebound control by Blackmore. And now he's in space. He wants to go fast. Blackmore, Euro steps to the basket. The foul is called, but the shot will not go.
Good take right there for Blackmore. I mean, you know, he was sitting for a little bit after that. I guess you could call it an injury that forced him onto the bench, but a good way to come back out explosively on offense.
And Blackmore had that one in space, saw the gap, and drove straight to the basket. In just a matter of a few seconds, he took that one coast to coast. Now he'll be at the free throw line, misses that first one. Blackmore, not a great free throw shooter, averaging just 58% on the year. Had a quiet night, still looking for his first points. He's 0 for 1 from distance. And now 0 for 2 from the free throw line. So scoreless on the night is Blackmore, leads still 23. Adama with the ball. The give and take ends up in the hands of Kaiser, who thought 3. Instead will give it to Adama in the corner. Drives baseline, guarded by Blackmore. Stymied. Has to take a screen. Will give it up. Ends up in the hands of Munyon. Guarded by Burdett, who received his first action of the second half. The give inside, a nice feed to Bonneguam, who gets that one to fall. Munyon, nice interior passing there to get that one to go. Blackmore with the ball, gives to Sandramano, back to Blodgett. Give and take ends up in the hands of Burdett, guarded by Kaiser, who passes in the vicinity of Blodgett and Blackmore, but no one was home, so that one hits the scorer's table. A turnover for the Titans. Adamo inbounds. Gives it to Munyon. Adamo finds Kaiser, guarded by Sandramano. Gives it to Bonneguam on the wing here. Bonneguam drives, paints, spins. A lot of contact, shot up, won't go, but the foul is called. Nice interior move there by Samuel Bonneguam, the freshman out of Gresham.
Yeah, you can tell when he was going up for the shot, he kind of leaned into the contact to draw the foul. Smart play right there. Get the free throws after the shot.
Full step to the line. He averages 10 points on the year. Already has 10 so far tonight, including 4 of 4 from the free throw line. That first one right on cue, as I say he's 4 of 4. That one will swirl around the rim and go out as he misses that.
You jinxed him.
That's on me. That's on me. I take that one. Shooting 70% from the line, and Ole Miss both. Blackmore has the ball. Rejects the screen from San Germano, gives to Burdett. Burdett from three. That catches rim, won't go. This game feels to have slowed down quite a bit. This is Adamo with the ball, goes behind the back. Burdett stays home and will tip it out of bounds. And last touch by Adamo, a nice defensive play there from Davey Burdett. He's been quiet in the offensive end, but forces the turnover there. 11:30 to go in the game, and the lead is 21.
Yeah, even though he hasn't scored yet, that three that we saw right there on the last possession, it was a good look. And then to come back on defense, force a turnover, good job right there from Burdett.
Three-guard action ends up in the hands of Burdett with San Germano. Takes the screen. Burdett drives, an athletic put off glass, up and in. What a play there by Davey Burdett.
There you go. He must have heard me that he wasn't contributing on offense, and there he goes, taking it right to the basket. Good move right there.
Adamo go over the top of Kaiser, gives it to Kaiser. Kaiser drives, jump stop, shot off glass. That won't go. Rebound controlled by San Germano. Gives it to Blackmore. Blackmore finds Harbert in the far corner. Nice vision there. Three-pointer up for Harbert, and it's good. Grayson Harbert, the Eugene kid, drains it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, good court vision to find the open man all the way in the corner. It was a far pass, and it got to him lightning quick.
Kaiser has the ball, takes the screen, gives it up for Boniguam. Finds Adamo in the far corner. He takes the screen, loses the handle, collects it, gives to Kaiser. Almost stolen from Harbert. Harbert over the back, swats that one down. Still controlled by the Penguins. Adamo drives baseline. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Kai Blodgett. Blodgett drives inside. A foul will be called. Never mind. That's a travel call. Contact with Kaiser won't be called, but looks like Blodgett was ready for the contact. At the last moment, Kaiser stepped out of the way, forcing Blodgett to take an extra step to kind of regain his balance as he was anticipating the contact that was about to happen. Adamo gives it to Kaiser, ends up in the hands of Ohame. Ohame will drive, a lot of steps there, no call. Instead, he'll spin around inside and get that one to fall.
And Lane still has a lead here, you know, even despite letting that one go.
Davey Burdett, step back three-pointer, catches front rim. Rebound controlled by Harbert. Looks like a foul will be called on that rebound attempt. Kaiser was called in the foul as Harbert was collecting it. And a timeout will be called on the floor. 9:42 left to go in the game. And the Lane Titans lead 68-44 over the visiting Clark Penguins.
Yeah, great job offensively. I mean, you know, you can tell that the offense slowed down just a little bit here towards the second half of the second half. Well, but regardless, the Titans have been doing a great job of holding on to their lead, taking smart shots. They're not really forcing anything because they don't truly need to. And, you know, although they've only scored 18 in the half, they're still in an amazing position towards the end of this game.
Yeah, it's really slowed down here in this second half. In the first half, it was a 50-31 margin. In this half, 18-13 through 10 minutes of gameplay. Both teams slowing down a bit. The Titans have played a relatively clean game, having only turned the ball over 6 times. 11 turnovers for the Penguins. And the lineups will go back out. Looks like we're going to stay with Burdett, Blackmore, Blodgett, San Germano, and Harbert. Interesting, we haven't seen Will Pluma for quite some bit. The hot hands. Again, he still leads the game in scoring with his 27, but he's getting quite a break on the bench here. The game well in hand with a 22-point lead. That might be a factor there for head coach C.J. Edwards. Burdett to inbound. They find Blodgett top of the three-point line. Blodgett loses the defender and loses the ball in the process. Ball will be out of bounds. Controlled by the Penguins. Coleman to inbounds. Looking for Adamo. And the freshman from Bend has it. Guarded by Blackmore. Takes the screen from Kaiser. Doesn't get the switch. Adamo drives. Loses the ball. And that will be tipped out of bounds by Blackmore. So we'll stay on that end. Rashid Modi will check into the game. Maybe. Thinks about it. And we'll check into the game, replacing Kai Blodgett. Modi only averaging 0.6 minutes a game. Looking to get some action in this one. The inbounds gets fed around and then spun inside. The shot up. That won't go. Ends up short. Rebound controlled by Modi.
And a good contest right there from Modi. Immediately into the game, they started attacking him, but great job staying in the paint.
Blackmore, the jump stop, short jumper. That won't go. Look at Harbert fighting for the rebound. Harbert comes up with it. What a play there. Physical play to control the ball up off glass and in. All effort there. Trace Harbert gets the basket to go. The lead is now 26.
There's that physicality that we always talked about when we're talking about the Titans. Right there, crashing the board, getting these second chance points.
Kaiser has the ball. Here comes the double team. He's running out of options. Finds Coleman. Coleman drives inside. Gives it up. Shot up. Rebound, still swat up in the air. Who will come up with it? And the Titans come up with it. This is Blackmore off the miss from McBonagwam. Blackmore to the basket, swatted out of the air. What a play there. Elijah Munyon swats that one away.
Gosh, that's the second block we've seen with absolute malice. Sending that ball into the ground, and I swear, we might not be able to see it on the camera, but I swear you can see a dent in the floor where that ball hit the ground.
Elijah Munyon swatted that one out of play. Ball will end up with the Titans, though, because last touch by Munyon, obviously. Burdett to inbounds. Finds Sandramano. Sandramano gives it to Harbert. And ends up back in the hands of Davey Burdett. Davey Burdett will drive. Draws Bonagwam on the defense. Burdett trying to lose him. Instead, he'll feed inside Sandramano. Sandramano posted it up. Physical play there. Sends the defender flying backwards, up, off glass, and in for Riley Sandramano. He's more than a three-point shooter, folks.
Yeah, and at 6'2", you wouldn't really think Sandramano would be a post-up player, but right there showing you, he can. He can go into the post and get the defender off of him.
That's the second time we've seen that tonight with Sandramano with some post-up opportunities. Adamo drove, couldn't get to go. Titans going the other way. This is Harbert for three. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Adamo. 7:50 left to go in the game. Well in hand for the Titans throughout this one. Ends up in the hands of Kaiser, top of the key. He'll give it to Coleman. Coleman thought about his options, throws it in between two offensive players, ends up in the hands of Davey Burdett. It's a 2-on-2. Burdett up off glass, can't get to go. Blackmore will tip it back up and in. Defense into offense for the Titans here. The lead has swollen to 30 points.
Good job right there, not just, watching Burdett take the bucket, because, if you missed, Blackmore was right there to get it tipped in.
We need to take a moment to acknowledge what an impressive effort this is from the Lane Titans squad that's had a really rough December, but slowly regaining their balance in January, fighting against a team that they're neck and neck with in the standings, and they have jumped out to a 30-point lead here as just 7 minutes left in the game, and it's been dominant, an absolutely dominant performance from Lane. The Penguins to inbound. This is Adamo with the ball. He'll find Jabari Portis. Portis loses his balance on his knees. Will try to find Kaiser. Instead, ends up in the hands of Burdett. Burdett fires one to Modi. Modi up off glass and in. The bench electric to see. Modi scored that one. Kaiser has the ball, drives baseline. They give outside to Adamo. Adamo for three. That catches rim. Won't go. Burdett with the ball.
I feel like all the momentum is with the Titans. Clark can't do anything to score against them so far.
Burdett lost the handle, but in the process, Jabari Portis with his foot on the line, touched the ball. It'll stay with the Titans. It'll end up in the hands of Sandramano. Sandramano will take a three. That won't go. Rebound, Modi. Gives it to Blackmore. Sandramano has the ball, gives it to Modi. Off the action. Modi will take a three-pointer up and catches rim. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Kaiser. Kaiser with vision throws it down the court. Three-pointer, front rim. That won't go. Burdett fighting for it. Nicholson fighting for it on the ground. A whistle, and this one will stay with Clark. It's good to see Modi score. He's played in 11 games throughout the season, but those are his first points scored since November 30th. The bench and what appeared to be the entire first few rows of the stadium here, letting him hear it there, so good to see him score for the first time since November. As he's gotten some more action as of late.
Yeah, and it's just building on their lead, 76-44 here late in the second half.
Adamo to inbound. Ends up in the hands of Kaiser. Ball is kicked around, and this will stay with the Penguins. Looks like we got a kick ball on Modi there. With just 6 minutes left to go in the game. The lead up to 32, and judging the fact that we haven't seen Will Pluma in some time, it looks like we will not see him again, you have to imagine, due to the nature of the score. So he still has 27 points, the game's leading scorer. The feed inside won't go. Rebound controlled by San Germano. Ends up in the hands of Blackmore. Blackmore so good in space with a full head of steam. Drives basket. Wild shot up off glass. That won't go. Controlled by Bonneguam. Guarded by Burdett. And Bonneguam drives up and will lay it up and in as he lost Burdett there. Driving basket. Lead trimmed to 30. Blackmore has the ball. Gives it to Burdett. San Germano looks for Modi. Able to control. This is Blackmore who'll take the screen from San Germano. Dance, still a step back jumper. Leaves it short, controlled by Portis. Portis guarded by Modi. Drives, spins back inside, takes the contested jumper. That won't go. Rebound controlled by Blackmore. We're down to 5 minutes left to go in the game. Blackmore swings it to Modi. Modi thought about the three and said he'll drive. A shot up with the foul, and it goes. Rashad Modi rejected the three-point attempt, drove inside, took the contact, and put it up and off glass.
Yeah, what a fake right there. You can see he faked the pass and then took a step up into the basket, took the shot, and got fouled. Oh, what a take right there. He's showing what he can really do.
And the bench letting him hear it there. As a timeout is called, 4:56 left to go in the game. 78-46 is the margin. While tight for the first few minutes, Lane jumped out to a lead in that first period, and they have just put this Clark squad in an absolute chokehold in every phase of the game.
Yeah, and as they lead here, 78-46, it's feeling like they're still just continuing to build on this lead. Clark, meanwhile, feels like they're almost completely out of this game. It feels like they haven't, when they score, they can't really build the momentum off of it because Lane comes down the other way and continues to score. And you can see the energy of head coach CJ Edwards for Lane just still completely at maximum. They're not going to let up anytime soon. And sure, even though they don't have their starters in, they're not going to let off the gas pedal.
You're absolutely right. We're getting close to white flag time here for the Penguins. Offensively, 3 Titans in double digits. Pluma with 27, Hinton with 15, Harbert with 14. It's a nice game here from Harbert. Only averages 6.6 a game, but he has 14 tonight. And again, we're going to keep calling out Peyton Kaiser's name. He only has 9 points tonight off 3 of 10 shooting, so an excellent defensive job on him. Modi will step to the line. Free throw is good. Byer for the Penguins has the ball. Guarded by Harbert. Here comes the action. He rejects the handoff. Kicks up to Kaiser. Kaiser will take a contested three-pointer. Front rim. That won't go, and will go out of bounds. We'll end up with the Titans ball.
Modi did a great job on defense in that one. His hand was all over that shot. There was no way that one was going in the basket.
Blackmore orchestrating the offense. Gives it to Leggy, who's back in the game. Loses the handle, ends up in the hands of Byer. Byer, good. Drives all the way, little Euro step, short floater. That'll fall. Coming up on 4 minutes left to go in this game. Blackmore, the screen from San Germano, rejects it, drives through contact up, and that one rattles in. A nice move there from Javon Blackmore. Rejecting the San Germano screen, goes to the rim, finishes there.
And that's just Blackmore's second made shot of the game so far.
This is Bonneguam. Bonneguam finds Nicholson. Nicholson, contested shot up. That one rolls in and out, controlled by San Germano. Gives it to Blackmore. We tick inside 4 minutes here. 81-48 is the margin. Blackmore, a lot of contact. He's fouled by Kaiser going up for that one. Free throws incoming for the freshman. 0 for 2 in the night from the free throw line is Blackmore. 2 for 7 from the field. But the first free throw is up and good for him. Davey Burdett will check back into the game for the Titans. And that one rattles in and out. Back to Byer. Byer the feed inside to Kaiser. Kaiser up off glass and gets that one to roll over the outstretched arms of Javon Blackmore. This is Modi to inbound, gives it to Blackmore. The give to Leggy in the wing. Leggy drives and dribbles the ball off his own foot. Will be out of bounds. Penguins will control. Blackmore checks out for Burdett, who tried to check in that most recent possession, but was asked to stop by the referees. Byer dribbles this one up slowly as we tick to 3 minutes left. It's all over but the shouting. The lead is 32. The give to Kaiser. Kaiser guarded by Modi, thought about the pull-up and said he'll give it to Nicholson. Nicholson drives baseline through Herbert, and an offensive foul will be called, looks like. Never mind, that would be a defensive foul. Looks like Herbert was called for the foul there over Nicholson, who drove baseline, put it up and in, got the basket and the foul.
Yeah, good drive right there. I didn't quite see what the foul was. You know, it wasn't like one of those flagrant ones, but still, good job offensively trying to get into this one. But it might be a little too late, as they're still down by almost 30.
Yeah, 29 points is the margin with 2:54 on the clock. This is Burdett. Burdett loses the ball, swatted around, ends up in the hands of Coleman. Coleman was fouled quickly, it looks like, with the ball. So we're going to get a 1+1 there. Looks like they got Modi on the call. The pace of the game has slowed significantly here as both teams are up in the bonus now. Coleman, a 31% free throw shooter, so he's struggled from the line this year. Gets that one to go. Coleman's 7th point of the night. And his 8th as he rattles that free throw in. Timeout will be called by the Penguins. Both teams will jog back to the bench. 2:48 left to go in this game, 82-55. A dominant offensive showing, a dominant defensive showing. Quite the game we've seen from the Titans here so far.
Yeah, you know, even though it feels like everything's been going right for the Titans, you know, Clark still just a little bit in this one, and I guess, you know, the Clark Penguins also believe so. That's why they're calling a timeout with so little time on the clock. But, you know, if we know the Titans, and we've been here before, they're not going to let up on the gas pedal anytime soon. They're not going to slow down on their scoring. So they're going to try to continue to put more points up on the board. And, you know, like we mentioned, it's been a great job so far. Will Pluma really was the leader in this one, but we haven't seen him since about the 10-minute mark of the second half. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes in sometime. And he gives us a peace sign. You know,
he heard you saying his name.
He must know.
Quite the game here from Pluma. Again, we haven't seen him in a while, but he put up 27 points. The real astounding point, though, 11 for 13 from the field, 5 for 6 from distance, no free throws. Just a remarkably efficient shooting night from Will Pluma. Next highest scores, Devin Hinton, who had 4 for 7 shooting for 15 points. Trayson Harbert, who racked up 14 points as well. Quite a night here from the Eugene kid. 2 Penguins players in double digits. Igbanaguam, 12. And Kaiser finally broke the double-digit mark with 11 points. Burdett, Sandramano, Leggy, Modi, and Harbert in for the Titans. 2:48 left to go in this game. The give to Burdett. Burdett face guarded the whole way, so he finds Sandramano. Sandramano gives it to Leggy. Back to Burdett. More than content to draw this possession out as long as possible. Almost loses it to Harbert, and a ball will go in the court. Looks like a young fan playing with a inflatable ball lost the handle in the third row. A turnover from the kid in the yellow shirt. Got to work on those ball handling skills still. Make sure that doesn't
We
happen.
saw them during halftime. You know, they were working on it, trying to practice.
16 on the shot clock. Burdett with the ball. Gives to Leggy. Finds Harbert. Burdett in the wing. Give and take ends up with Harbert, who thought 3. Instead, he'll give to San Germano. 5 at the shot clock. Burdett drives basket up off glass and good. Davey Burdett, a flamethrower when he wants to be. Puts that one off the glass. Points for Burdett.
Just 4 points for Davey Burdett, but you know he didn't really need to be that offensive spark plug. But we know he has that potential.
Penguins with the ball. This is Munyon who drives, gives it up to Byer. Byer drives, spins the other way, gives outside to Kaiser, who thought 3. Instead, he'll flip it in the direction of Munyon. Excuse me, not Munyon. That was Coleman with the ball. Coleman in trouble underneath. A lot of contact. Puts up a wild shot. That won't go. Davey Burdett controls. Burdett in space. Take a step back three-pointer. Catches rim. 1:38 left to go in this game. And a full court pass to Coleman. Coleman up and a soft dunk there. Whistle is blown. Looks like there'll be some substitutions. Ohame will check in. And Kaiser will check out for the Penguins. 90 seconds left to go in the game. The margin 84-57. Burdett has the ball, gives it to Harbert. Swung to Modi. San Germano gives it back to Burdett. It's passed around the perimeter for the Titans. Ends up in the hands of San Germano, who finds Modi in the wing. Modi drives baseline, stops, spins, and kicks it back out. San Germano, with seconds left in the shot clock, will put up a scoop shot, catches rim, but won't go. Controlled by the Penguins. This is Abanagwam with the ball. Drives, passes underneath the basket to Ohame, who lost the handle, but looks like Modi touched the ball last as it was out of bounds. So this one will stay with the Penguins underneath the opposing team's basket. Just 57.8 left in the game. The feed inside to Nicholson, his second start of the year. Nicholson drives, a lot of contact, and a foul will be called. Looks like they get Harbert. Needless to say, he disagrees, but I don't think that matters. Foul still called. He tried his best.
And even with these free throws coming up, you know, the lead is so large with just about 53.8 seconds left to go, and Titans getting the ball back, probably going to dribble out the clock as much as they can. It might be a bit too little too late, and you know, Lane's probably going to be able to take this one.
This is Nicholson at the line. Averaging, he's a 78% free throw shooter. Gets those to fall. His 8th point of the game. Burdett with the ball now. Fakes left, goes right, gives to Leggy. Leggy swings it around, ends up in the hands of Modi. Back to Burdett. Burdett dancing on the perimeter will slow it up. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Give and a take. Burdett at the logo. Dances around the defender, drives to his right, puts up a shot over 2 outstretched hands, and gets that one to fall. Davey Burdett off glass. So effective at the rim is Burdett. And now the Penguins going quickly. They drive inside. Nicholson can't get that one to fall. Controlled by Leggy. Shot clock is off. 14 seconds left in the game, and the Titans are more than content to dribble this one out. A dominant win for the Lane Titans as they beat the Clark Penguins. 86-59 is the final margin. What a win here for the Titans. The buzzer sounds, triple zeros in the clock, and the Lane Titans win.
What a game it's been. What an offensive showing all around from the Titans, and specifically Will Pluma. We hardly saw him towards the end of that second half, but he still finishes the game with 27 points on 11 of 13 shooting, 5 of 6 from 3. We've harped on it all night long, but what a game it was for Will Pluma.
And it's so impressive. He dropped 27, didn't even have to play that much. This game was so out of hand. He sat around the 10-minute mark and never saw the court again. Other players in double digits, Devin Hinton, 15 points, 10 rebounds, so a double-double for him. Trayson Harbor with 14 points. For the Penguins, 3 double-digit scores. Abanagwam, 12, Kaiser, 11, and Coleman with 10 points. Overall, an impressive win. Both the men's and women's team for Lane with dominant wins over the visiting Clark Penguins. A big thanks to all those who made this possible. The staff here at Lane, head coach CJ Edwards, head coach Greg Sheely of the women's team for allowing us to be here today to call this for the Lane live stream. My name is Levi Berkfield. To my right, Jacob Salau. It's been a pleasure calling it for you guys. Next game up, for this lane team.